So with that, good afternoon, everyone. Today we have agenda review, and then we will follow the agenda review with an executive session of the governing board, probably in the arena of 5:15. So with that, I would like to remind everyone that we are live captioning our meeting. And so to please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. And I want to, again, state that last time we met at the board meeting, I closed with the reminder of our board policies and comments. And I know that we all hold those dear and we'll be moving forward in this meeting with that in our memory. So I'm going to call to order the meeting at this time of the agenda review for the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board. Today, on September 21st, 2020, we are going to review the agenda for the September 28, 2021 board meeting. For the record, I'm going to call roll of board members, and I know some of you have spoken out, so I know you're there. I did not, however, hear our student trustee, Mr. Evans. So Mr. Evans, are you present? Not hearing that. Ms. Bittersmith?
I'm here.
Thank you. Mrs. McGrath?
Present.
Thank you. Dr. Narini?
I'm here.
Great. Ms. Smith?
Present.
Thank you. Dr. Thor?
Present.
Ms. Nguyen?
Present.
And with my presence, we have a full complement of board members, all in attendance, with Mr. Evans not present with our meeting this afternoon. To that end, what you have in front of you, both on the screen and some of you in paper, the agenda for our September 28th meeting. And as we roll at that meeting through our normal events and the general items, we would move to consider the citizens interims. To date, we have no notification of anyone wishing to speak at that meeting. Then we would move to consideration of the consent agenda, which in this instance is quite long. We have 22 items to go through. So with that, I'm going to start our review and note that on that agenda, we would have approval of a Faculty Emeritus Distinction Award for David Miller. From there, we'll go to approval of curriculum summary, the courses, modifications, and those in our occupational programs, et cetera. So are there any comments or questions on item 3, board members? Being none, item 4, approval of U.S. Department of Education continuing grant award, TRIO Student Support Service, regular grant to Mesa Community College. Any comments or questions? Being none, item 5, approval of U.S. Department of Education continuing grant award, TRIO Student Support Service STEM program at Mesa Community College. Any comments or questions? Item 6, approval of U.S. Department of Education continuing grant award, TRIO Student Support Services program at Gateway Community College. Are there any comments or questions? Item 7, approval of U.S. Department of Education continuing grant award, Title V, developing Hispanic serving institutions to Mesa Community College. Any comments or questions? Being none, moving to item 8, approval of U.S. Department of Education continuing grant award for Title V, developing Hispanic serving institutions grant to Gateway Community College. Any comments or questions? Boy, those explanations must be really good. We're going well here. Item 9, approval of Department of Economic Security Child Care Stabilization Grant Award to support Gateway's Children's Learning Center. Any comments or questions? Item 10, approval of Department of Economic Security Child Care Stabilization Grant Award to support Mesa Community College Children's Learning Center. Any comments or questions? Item 11, approval of new grant award from U.S. Department of Defense Logistics Agency, Office of Small Business Programs to Maricopa County Community Colleges for the Arizona Small Business Development Center Network to operate the Arizona Procurement Technical Assistance Center. Any comments or questions? A lot of good work going on, folks. Okay, item 12. Approval of acceptance of U.S. Department of Education Higher Education Emergency Relief Funds, Fund for the Improvement of Post-Secondary Education, Competitive Supplemental Assistance for Institutions of Higher Education. Program funds to Paradise Valley, Chandler, Gilbert, and Rio Salado colleges to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on students and institutions. Any comments or questions? Item 13, approval of transfer of funds from the Maricopa County Community Colleges Foundation for a grant award from Bank of America for Scaling Guided Pathways Project. Another good one for the district. Congratulations. Item 14, approval of job order contracting purchase order to Baker Copeland LLC to replace the air handling system and provide a new fire sprinkler system for the F building at Paradise Valley Community College. Comments or questions? Item 15, approval of intergovernmental agreement between Dysart Unified School District and the Maricopa County Community College District on behalf of Estrella Mountain Community College for the EMCC Embedded Advisor Program. Any comments or questions? Item 16, approval of intergovernmental agreement between the Arizona Department of Economic Security and the Maricopa County Community College District for Higher Education Child Care Project. Any comments or questions? Item 17, approval of intergovernmental agreement between the Arizona Department of Economic Security and the Maricopa County Community College District for Arizona Back to Work Incentives Student Scholarships. Any comments or questions? Item 18, approval of Gateway Early College High School submission of annual financial report to the Arizona Department of Education for fiscal year 2021. Any comments or questions? Item 19, approval of Phoenix College Preparatory Academy submission of annual financial report to the Arizona Department of Education for fiscal year 2021. Any comments or questions? Item 20, approval of proposed course fee changes spring semester fiscal year 21-22 budget. Any comments or questions?
Oh, of course I do.
Another voice. Okay. Yes, Dr. Nurini.
Don't worry. I'm not going into any of the details of the fees. I'll save those for individual emails. But on a more general idea, when it comes to the fees and the cost of education, I was wondering if we could get a work session on the whole financial aid process and how it works. Because here's what I've found out as I kind of dove into this a little bit more. I just want to know how we calculate the cost of attendance, and is it the same as what we use on the net price calculator? For those of you who don't know, the net price calculator is a federally mandated calculator that all colleges have to have if they receive federal funds, and it gives the students a chance to kind of figure out what it's going to cost them to go to school. They put in a bunch of different information about themselves, like are they applying for financial aid? How old are they? Are they living with their parents or not? Are they married or not? Do they have children? How many people in their family? All this sort of thing, and it spits out an estimate of financial aid, of grants and things. And it's based on first-time, full-time students And the reason I'm concerned is because when I ran through these for the district, first of all, I've got several different estimations. I used the same data for each one. A student with a family of 4 making about $50,000 a year, only one in college, and they had a grant from anywhere from $5,000 to $182 to go to school. But the thing that I'm really concerned about, and what ties into this piece, is that we estimate that our tuition and fees are $2,070 for the year. Well, when you calculate 12 times 85, you get 1,020 for 1 year, for 1 semester. And when you double that, it's $2,040. So we're saying a full-time student tuition and fees are $2,040. That means tuition are $2,070, which means that they have a $30 wiggle room to pay for fees. And as anybody looked through these 60-odd pages, we know that there's going to be more than $30 worth of fees. But we also know that a full-time student, if a student is going to graduate in 2 years, they're going to need to take 15 credits. And that's going to add up to $2,550 for the year, which doesn't match with the estimated that we're using on this federal net price calculator. So I would hope that we could have a work session that we can really kind of dive into this and help us understand how this all works for the students. Because again, when we're throwing the fees on there, and if this is what we're using to estimate the cost of a student's attendance, I think we're really, really off base with it. And I don't want to get in trouble with the federal government for having bad information on there.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Narini. So you have a question more than a comment on the actual course fee changes. Is that what I understand?
Yeah,
Okay.
the question is, can we have a work session on the financial aid process at some point?
Well, we can certainly do work sessions on whatever we need to know. I would throw this to you, Dr. Gonzalez. Do you have a point of view on this and how to respond to Dr. Narini?
Sure, President Sullivan, Dr. Narini, and it's I heard your question, and let me ask if it would be possible to do this. If we could first attempt to provide an explanation via email, and then if there's anything beyond that, including the broader scope of what it means, for students going through a financial aid process. If there's questions around that larger umbrella process of what we call financial aid, I believe that could, likely warrant the need for a work session. But I believe we may be able to answer your question if you'll give us that attempt first, and then
Okay.
How does that work for you?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
And Dr. Gonzalez, and when you answer that question, now that that's been posed as a question, all of us have heard it, would you please share that information with all board members in that regard, please?
Yes, we will. Thank you, President Sullivan.
Sure. Thank you. So after attending to that, are there any other comments or questions on item 20, approval of proposed course fee changes spring semester? Anyone else or anything further, Dr. Narini?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll be sending. I do have some specific questions, but that's not for here. I'll send it out to Dr. Gonzalez and the schools that I have the questions about.
Okay. And if there are questions that for which the full board needs to be informed, then the answers will come to all of us.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you. So with that, moving to item 21, approval of 21-22 district property and casualty insurance program renewal. Any comments or questions? Okay, being none, approval from the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board to authorize the continuing lease of space in the 619 building located at Rio Salado College downtown at 619 North 7th Avenue, Phoenix, to Chicanos per La Casa. Are there any comments or questions on that?
President Sullivan?
Yes, Mrs. Nguyen.
It's actually
Susan.
Susan.
Oh, Susan. Good. Sorry.
No worries. I'm just trying to understand why this is actually not a consent agenda item. Is there something I have missed in the narrative about this agreement?
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes, it was President Sullivan, Mrs. Bittersmith, was the question, why is this a consent agenda item or why it's not?
Why is it not a consent agenda item? I'm just curious because as I read the report, I didn't see anything unusual about it, but perhaps I'm asking did I miss a fact that would put it on a non-consent agenda?
I wish I could
It
provide.
is on the consent
It-
agenda,
it-
Susan.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
it's a non-consent action item.
Well, you may be looking
No.
at an older agenda. It was shifted as from a non-consent to a consent, and it becomes item 22 on the consent agenda.
Oh, okay, so what I'm looking at came off of the meeting, the agenda distributed yesterday, but on the 17th
All right.
I see,
Now-
yeah.
or 2
now
days
my
ago.
question-
Okay, then you've
now my-
actually answered my question because it should
Yes.
be on the consent agenda and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't. So that's the
Yeah.
answer.
Well, now my
Thank you.
question back to you, Mrs. Bittersmith, may make sense because on my agenda, it was on the consent agenda.
Okay, well, I apologize. The document I'm looking has it as a non-consent and that didn't make any sense, but obviously
Yeah.
it now does. So thank you.
No, but you do point out it's something that happens on occasion through no one's fault or anything like that. And that is sometimes these things are shifting. Once posted, of course, for the board meeting, it's in stone, but obviously since we have the agenda review, we have some opportunity to make some accommodations. And I guess this was a last minute shift. So for the board meeting, it will sit as item 22 on the consent agenda unless it's pulled out at the board meeting.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much for raising that. So at that, are there any comments or questions on item 22? If they're not, then as we scroll through the remaining of the agenda as it will exist for next week, we have at this point no non-consent action items. There is a first read, employment and separations, July 24th, 21 through August 2021. Are there any comments or questions on that report as it will appear? Being none, we will also be presented with the monitoring reports, the budget analysis report for Fund 1, general unrestricted fund for the 2 months ending 8/31/21. Are there any comments or questions in anticipation of that? Being none, we also will have then our community linkage reports and current event summaries from board members. I want to then make a couple announcements for next week's meeting. We do have, again, this was based on information that's come to us, 2 work sessions that I'd like to schedule for next week. They'd be about 45 minutes each. We're anticipating the first conversation on our budget for the upcoming fiscal year. We're doing this more often, that we start earlier in our season so that by the time we get to a May approval, we're all fully informed and have accommodated shifts and points of view and revenue and expense issues. So our first review of that will occur at 4:30 next Tuesday for about 45 minutes. Again, work sessions are not mandatory if there's conflict, but that will be our first opportunity for that. Also immediately following, about 45 minutes later at 5:15, we will have our first review of the legislative activity agenda presented by Ms. Renfro and her team and Dr. Gonzalez. Again, scheduling that for no more than 45 minutes. It'll be the initial review. And again, we're getting started a little earlier than usual on these things. So I'm pleased with the attention to these matters and the information that we will be receiving will give us an opportunity to begin to explore, ask questions, et cetera. So then we would end up, yes, please go ahead.
Is that meeting going to be in person or is that still going to be remote?
Now, all meetings right now, that was going to be my last announcement.
Sorry. Didn't need to preempt you.
No, that's all right. Good question. I'm continuing to have us meet virtually for the next meeting as we deal with some of these challenges. in the workplace and other places for COVID. We're following guidelines. And again, the meeting date is September 28th, so I think we're good on that. After the work sessions, we'll have a half-an-hour break and we'll convene for our board meeting at 6:30. And again, it will be virtual. Another thing, I just received a text about, moments before I started the meeting from Darcy Renfro, and that is the City of Phoenix has approved a $8.5 million contribution to the Community College District for workforce development out of their American Rescue Plan dollars. So that's exciting. I have no other details other than the City Council did approve that, and an IGA will be prepared with the details. So I don't have any more information other than that, but that's pretty exciting. So we want to appreciate our municipal partnerships that are providing us these influxes of revenue to support our activities in the district. So I think that's a good thing. And excuse my editorial comments, I try sometimes so hard not to, and every once in a while they come out. So I'll do better with that, but just wanting to give that update then. So congratulations, Dr. Gonzalez, and to your team for working with the City of Phoenix on making that happen.
Thank you, President Sullivan, and we hope to have a release out as soon as possible with more details as we get those. Thank you.
Good. And board members, I've been not doing definitive polling, but I know we've all been anxious about our retreat, and things just keep popping up that are big. And by the way, I know, Ms. Nguyen, you're looking forward to a family wedding this weekend, so that's
It
exciting.
was last weekend. It was 2 days.
Last weekend. Oh my God, yes, that's right. I'm a week behind.
It's okay. It was still great. It was wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was lovely. And so now I want you to all hold Thursday, the last Thursday in October, and Friday, or Friday evening, last Friday in October, and Saturday. And now it's based on a facilitator during those days. So I'm sorry that it's been postponed until then, but this gives us enough time, I hope, for everyone to clear their calendar. And other than Halloween, I don't know of anything big that's occurring in people's lives that weekend that I've been told about anyway. So that's that, and Ms. Smith and I will get more information to you on that as that absolutely gets solidified, but I wanted to give you a heads up. The other thing, there will be sent to you before our retreat a self-evaluation tool, board members, and what we will do is fill that out, return it to a central point, and we will have that discussion at our retreat when that occurs. So just giving you a heads up, that would be coming also. So those are my updates. Yes, go ahead.
Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
So is the facilitator preparing the self-evaluation, or are we using the one that was used quite a long time ago by the board?
We're looking for a new tool. And so that will be determined in the next week or so.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but could you repeat again the
dates?
the days and times that we're to be holding?
Yeah, there's still some maneuverability needing to happen, I'm sorry to say, but the thinking was we would have a meet and greet the evening before, and for those who can stay for dinner, we will have dinner. And then the next day we would go into our retreat, and the hours are dependent on how much, well, we're trying to figure out how we can cover the things we want to cover. So the first would either be Thursday night, October 28th, moving into full day on the 29th, or it would be Friday evening, the 29th, with a almost full day on the 30th.
Thank you for that clarification.
Sure. I apologize for not being clearer when I started on that. So that's where we are right now. Yeah, I didn't want you to think we had totally forgotten that and it had gone poof into the ether. It's still very much alive. Just a matter of where to put it as it's, anyway. So that's that. Any other questions or comments, board members? Dr. Gonzalez, any last comment?
No, President Sullivan, thank you.
Sure. So with that, I'm going to adjourn the agenda review meeting, but board members, don't go away. Board members, I want you to exit this WebEx meeting and let's join an executive session through Google Meets. An email was sent to you earlier today that provided both links. So any comments or questions on that? We're scheduled for 5:15. And I think we'll go ahead with that, given some folks have to put some items online, et cetera, perhaps. Unless you're all, Dr. Gonzalez, do you think your team could be ready earlier?
Yes, I think that we can be ready earlier, President Sullivan.
If we could start at 5, that'd be great.
3 minutes. There we go. So what I'm going to suggest, board members, unless you object, why don't we exit from here, go to your Google Meets, and as soon as I have everybody online, and Dr. Gonzalez, you tell me all your members are online as well, we'll just start the meeting.
Great.
Okay, so I'll see you in a few minutes, board meeting members, and at that, I'm adjourning our meeting at 4:58 p.m.